All right, good morning, traders. Today it's September 11th, 9/11. We all know what happened about 21 years ago. Sad day for a lot of us. Um, Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land, as well as the subscribers here in the room with me right now. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your following me on my content, liking my content, sharing my content. Appreciate all of that. Thank you for the kind words. Special shout out Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted for sharing the content. Appreciate that. Love that. Thank you for accompanying me on my trading journey. Hey, good morning, Sharon. All right, let's go take a look at what's going on today. All right. All right. So, hey, good morning. It's September 11th. All right. Again, thanks for being here. My SPY pivot 652.40 above it. I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. SPY, QQQ, and FNGU made new all-time highs yesterday. IWM made a higher high and a higher low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a weak one candle 10-minute uptrend. That's all it was. Diamond Dow made a lower low and a lower high, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Gold made a lower low and a lower high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Gold got a big tail on that candle. I don't know if my chart's off. That's I don't know, looks like a $10 tail. Anyways, just I don't know if it's a bad tick or if it actually traded there. I haven't had a chance to investigate it. Hey, good morning, KJ. Silver made an inside day. That's a lower high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO in a daily downtrend made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bearish trap and over the 17 EMA. UNG made a lower high, also in a downtrend. UNG made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bullish trap, but over the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a downtrend. We like that, okay? Closed near 97.85 area. SPY Max Pain 650 with a put to call ratio of about 1.25 puts to each call that expires today at 4:15. Today is the main event. CPI is going to be released at 8:30. I want to thank Alan in advance because he usually shares all the data. So we should get some activity to around 8:30. In other words, price should probably be ripping and rolling. So we'll see. I'll try to get this done before 8:30. I'd like to trade it if it's possible. Hey, good morning, Robert. All right, so let's go look at some charts here. Okay, so let's pull this, move this out of the way. And there we go there. Let's just see if this is working. All right, the drawing tools. Not working. So might as well take care of that right now before we run into the problem. I don't know what happens. I turned on the oh, it's working. Oh, now it's working. Okay. I'll take that. That works. Okay. Let's take a look at SPY. All right, SPY, new all-time high. Okay, drop the mic. Enough said. Doesn't get any better than that. There's SPY, okay, in a daily uptrend, in a weekly uptrend, and in a monthly uptrend. Here's the weekly chart. See all the green dots? Okay, monthly trend. See all the green dots? See, it's in a monthly uptrend. Got the daily uptrend. Just a second. All right, she got it. All right. All right, and a 2-hour chart, okay? Got a 2-hour uptrend. All right, you see price action up on top of the threes. The yellow 3 EMA up over the 8 EMA. That's the white thin line right here. Up over, see the green dots, 17 EMA. So we got a 2-hour uptrend. Here's our 10-minute chart. Okay, you can see the 3 crossing up over the 8 at the very last candle there. Bulls have been coming in past, I got to say, all week, all right, and buying up the end of day dip. Seems like every day they come in and buy this dip up at the end of day. All right, so we got a weak one candle uptrend. So I'll look for continuation of that. All right, I'll look for another green candle to continue that 10-minute uptrend. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. So there's SPY on the 10-minute. Yesterday, what happened? Well, we gapped up from here. Okay, I was holding a lot of calls, and I just sold into the rally right there. And from there, we melted down, all right? And I thought for sure we'd get back up over VWAP, and we never did all day, okay? Interesting fact, gap up. That's a bullish gap up. Notice the bears did not completely fill the gap on SPY. Now on QQQ, it's a little bit different story. They did fill the gap, okay? So in this 10-minute uptrend, okay, I'll be looking for continuation, okay? So I don't want a green candle with much more wick, well anyways, with more wick than body and tail, okay, combined. All right, so I'm looking for a green candle. I don't want a spinning top. I don't want a doji, and I don't want, see this candle right here, more wick than body and tail. That's something I don't want. That's showing me bearish control. Don't want a red candle. Reason I don't want a red candle is because I want to buy into strength. I have a 10-minute uptrend. It's either working or it's not. If it is, they will definitely give me the candle that I'm looking for. Okay, so that's the plan for this morning. On the game plan, we'll take a peek at that real quick. Let me back in here, okay? All right, I like 1 day and 8 days till expiration, Friday options on the multiple of 5 with strikes, $2 to $15 out of the money, $2 to $10, $2 to $15 out of the money. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. I like those 10-minute uptrends when they're moving up, and away from VWAP. All right, and I like the downtrends when they're moving down, and away from VWAP. Okay, so both of those. Again, I like the 1 day till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5, and the 8 day till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5. And the reason being is they got more open interest. Okay, more open interest means a higher liquidity. Now, I am not. Thank you, Jim. Bit of a rush this morning. Thank you, Jim. All right, so got green erases red over 654.85. Okay, that's the green erases red entry. Got the pivot 652.40, and red erases green 650.80. So that'd be priced below 650.80. Okay, again, green erases red over 654.85, and red erases green underneath 650.80. I was gonna say something else. Somehow I forget what I was gonna say, but that's the game plan this morning. All right, so let's go ahead and let's well, I'll think of it in a minute. QQQ's got a game plan as well, and make sure I got that one right. All right, so on QQQ, I like 1 day till expiration and 8 day till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5 with strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Okay, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Same thing, okay, on QQQ. Again, you can see QQQ popped up. Again, I sold into the pop-up, the opening candle right there. Big gap up, take my profit right away. Just in case they melt off, and that's what they did. They melted off all day yesterday. Notice there's a bullish gap up. The bears did fill the gap on QQQ, but they did not break the base. I would be looking for QQQ to probably pop up twice as high sometime today, later today, okay? Because this bullish gap up over the base and then come back down. I would look for this to probably rally up twice as high today. We'll see what it wants to do. Remember, we got CPI. That could throw a whole wrench in the whole plan. So we'll see what happens. You see price spent most of the day underneath VWAP. Not a good sign there, but over prior consolidation right there. Coming back testing the top of this. I would look for this to bounce up there almost twice as high. So we'll see what happens with QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, on the daily chart. Well, actually, let's go back to QQQ on the daily chart, and we'll pick up a clean one right here. You can see QQQ, new all-time high. Pretty sure, yep, new all-time high. Closing up over the bullish trap over the 17. Okay, that's bullish and in an uptrend. SPY, okay, same deal. Bullish and in an uptrend. Nothing's broken there. FNGU, okay, new all-time high. Bullish and in an uptrend. IWM, okay, IWM puts in a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17 EMA up here in the middle of quadrant 4. All right, middle of quadrant 4, bullish and in an uptrend. Nothing broken there. Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow puts in a lower high and a lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over the rising 17. Up near the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. That's Diamond Dow. Let's take a peek at silver and gold. All right, silver inside day, lower high, higher low. Okay, little doji candle. Closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. That's a 13-year highs up there. Silver. GLD. See the tail? Big tail. Like a $10 tail. All right, anyways, lower high, lower low. Closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. That's gold. Up here at the top of quadrant 4, that is definitely bullish and in an uptrend on gold. All right, let's take a look at USO. Here's the oil fund. Okay, USO goes up, gives it up, goes up. See how many times it comes back to the pink line. Gives it up, goes up, and does it again, okay? So it's just neutral. It's not ready yet, all right? When it can get up and it can hold the higher ground, that will be something new for price actions. Not in the upper third, not in the lower third of the quad lines, okay? So in the upper third, that would be bullish. Lower third, that would be bearish. Okay, so right now it's just neutral. And it's in a downtrend because they made a lower low. Here's a low. They made a lower low. So USO in a downtrend. All right, and just neutral. UNG also in a downtrend, but putting in a bear flag. Okay, so it's a pullback. Okay, within the downtrend. Okay, even though it has not been moving down. It did move down all the way down to here. Okay, it's down in the middle of quadrant 1, so that's bearish in the lower third, right? Okay, so price action and in a downtrend, just in a pullback in the downtrend. Candle for yesterday is a lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap, but over the 17 EMA. That's UNG. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2101, the breadth. We seem to be melting off. A little more breadth right there. Okay, I'm looking for price to get down, the breadth to get down into here, in between the blue line and the bottom green line, okay? That could signal a reversal, all right? If I go back in history, all right, on a 2-day chart, okay, you can see where price comes all the way down here, okay, into where the blue line is and the green line, okay? Notice price reverses from this area, all right? So that could signal a reversal, all right? So it could be a reversal coming soon. We're getting closer and closer day by day. That's the 2-day chart. Back to the 15. Losing breath, a little bit of market participation. See what happens. T2101. T2122, okay? We seem to be melting lower and lower. Look at the consolidation. It's up. Now we consolidate under it, and then we consolidate under that, and then we consolidate underneath that, okay? So yesterday we spent the day, most of the day over the midfield, okay? But we did make a couple appearances inside the seller's chop zone as opposed to being in the buyer's chop zone. So feels like we're losing some of that market participation. As you can see from T2101 in the market breadth, it's kind of showing us that right now, okay? Overbought zone, buy zone, we didn't even make it there. Well, we made a brief appearance in the buy zone yesterday. I don't even think we made an appearance. I just think, well, yeah, we probably gapped up there and then just got slammed right into the buyer's chop zone all day. So not much for the bulls. I mean, they did gap up and they kind of just helped price from free falling by just making it melt down slowly. T2123 yesterday, new all-time high. Okay, is a bullish gap up, and the bears did fill the gap. Okay, notice we still got price action is up and over to the right, still holding that higher ground. That's a good sign. Do see some red candles showing up here, a little bit more than I'm comfortable with, but that's probably normal. Could be rolling over. Could be. All right. That's all I'm saying is could be, only because I'm noticing the breadth kind of disappear day by day. Same with T2122. I'm seeing consolidation now develop underneath consolidation. Okay. So this is measurements of the whole NYSE right there. So that's T2123. Still up over the 200 SMA. Let's not forget they put in a new all-time high. So both of that is still bullish. They are still holding the higher ground. Not the pretty green that we like to see, but still holding that higher ground. So that's still bullish up there. Let's look at the same product, but we'll look at it on a 3-bar chart. Again, up over the 200 SMA. Same thing. It's the same product, so it's a new all-time high. Okay, still in an uptrend both on the 15 and the 3-bar chart. Okay, up there making new all-time highs. This is bullish and in an uptrend. Both of them, 15, the daily and the weekly and the monthly. Okay, new all-time highs. Okay, all of those in uptrends. Okay, so we got the 15, the 3-bar, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Okay, so up atop of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in uptrends there. Let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU, nice bullish gap up. Notice bears failed to fill the gap there. So again, we see from yesterday's price action and the post-market, pre-market, all right, we see more consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, that is a bullish outlook for me. Price action up over the rising 200 SMA. We'll see where we wind up today. Remember, CPI is coming out in about 13 minutes, okay? That could disrupt everything, okay? Even though we see consolidation over prior consolidation, CPI could come out and just wreck everything. So we'll have to see what happens when CPI comes out in about 13 minutes. All right, let's take a look at the economic data, and right there. Okay, start with the dollar. Dollar's still in a downtrend. Okay, remember on the dollar we have a weak dollar. All right, the consumer in us does not like it, but the investor in us likes that weak dollar. All right, because that means more open markets for us, makes us more competitive globally when we go to sell to foreign markets and they have to convert their currency to ours. If ours isn't as strong, it doesn't cost them as much of their currency, which makes our goods and services more affordable and more competitive. All right. Otherwise, we're kind of like locked out because we got a rich dollar. So having a cheap dollar kind of opens up new business for USA. All right. So dollar is weak, but for the consumer and us, it makes all of our goods and services here in the States more expensive. Okay. It costs us more when we got that weak dollar. Okay. So it's a two-sided sword. Okay. On one side, you got the consumer in us. On the other side, you got the investor in us. So right now you can see price action, all right, is, take that out of the way. Okay, it's moving from, how come it worked before? All right, move over and to the right. So we got a bear flag. All right, this would be right through here. That right there is major support when we were above it. Now we're underneath it, so it becomes minor resistance. All right, so looking for this bear flag to make another move lower. We'll see what happens, okay? That could really inspire another pop up in the market, okay? So there's the U.S. dollar index. Let me take that off. Let's go visit Max Pain. Max Pain for today, 650. That's for those SPY options. That's puts and calls that expired today. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15. Securities options expire at 4. Okay, put the call ratio of about 1.25 put, a little over 1.25 puts to each call that expires today. Again, max pain is 650, so we may see another melt off just like we did yesterday. We'll see what happens. Okay, on the economic calendar this morning, CPI at 8:30. Jobless claims also at 8:30. Natural gas report at 10 o'clock. That's it for the rest of the day. Consumer sentiment tomorrow at 10 and a rig count at 1 o'clock. Okay, let's take a look at the earnings calendar. For Thursday, Adobe's going to report after the close. It looks like I can barely read it. 150 billion they're going to report. Okay, so that's not going to be a market moving event, all right? But it'll probably help out the tech sector if they report some good numbers. Again, some more familiar names: Kroger, okay, Cheetah Mobile, all right? More familiar names, but nothing here that's going to move the markets today, all right? Not on earnings. Friday, we got, what do we got? Just more familiar names, and they don't even have a sunshine or a moonshine up there, okay? They're just still uncertain of whether they're going to report today or, tomorrow or not. Let's take a look at, see, we did the economic calendar, we did the earnings, okay? Let's take a look at the pre-market, post-market, and let's see what's going on there, okay? So let's pull up SPY. And let's pull up the pre-market, and let's try one with the pre-market on there. And pick the 5 minutes. So what do we got? Opening up this morning. So we had a little downtrend line here, okay? And price broke through that. So I'm looking at, again, consolidation over prior consolidation here as price kind of boxes off and rises higher. See the consolidation, and then we've got more consolidation. Not very long, okay? I'm noticing that, all right? And more consolidation right through there. Okay, so that's bullish right there as they melt up slowly. Okay, probably looking for price to come challenge the all-time high up here made yesterday. All right, so what am I looking for? Again, we left off with a weak 1 candle 10-minute uptrend. So I'm looking for continuation of that uptrend. I'm going to take the boxes off. I'm going to mark off this morning, okay, I'm going to mark off the lows, okay, so that's last night's lows, all right, and I'm going to mark off the highs, okay. Now, CPI is coming in, so the highs may be way up here at 659, I don't know. We had some really good disinflation data come in yesterday. I just want to say that, all right, so you can see I'd mark off the lows and the highs. That's what I would normally do, and trade the breakout, okay? That's probably going to be way too wide for us, so chances are we're going to box off the first 15 minutes of candle price action and trade the breakout of the box, okay? But we do have, right here, we would have a red erases green entry right underneath here, and we would have up here a green erases red entry, again, trading up out of the box right here. So SPY, in other words, a continuation of that weak 10-minute candle that we left off with yesterday. Okay, so that's it for me this morning. I'll see you guys all in about 40 minutes, 6 minutes. We're going to have some CPI data. Expect the market to get a little wild and whippy. I don't know if I have any of yesterday's price action. No, I don't. But yesterday's price action got wild and whippy just before the market opened. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes, and we'll open up the markets here. just want to say this video is not up in the members recorded area, but I do want to point out that every day I've been recording the open, all right, and actually almost all of the trading day throughout the day. You can find it right up here in the recordings, and you'll see this was yesterday's. All right, now on the 9th, I think that got, okay, here's the 9th, here's the 8th, and the 8th was our open house, and that got broke up, okay, on the 8th, because I don't know if I had a power failure or an internet failure, one of them, but it got broken up into two pieces. We had a really nice open house, had a really nice day yesterday. Where is the open house account? Anyways, let's take a look at it. Let's pull that up so I can share that with everybody. All right, and open house account right there. Okay, so on the first day of trading, that would be the open house, made 1,400. Day after, that would be Tuesday, made 9K. Okay, yesterday we inked out 12K, almost getting close to a double right here after 3 days or 4 days of trading. Maybe we'll get a double sometime today if we can find a nice 10-minute uptrend or downtrend that we could trade. So there's where we are with the open house, 27K that was started just 3 days ago, right there. Again, I'm picking those out of the money options for security and for safety reasons, but I'm not against trading the in the money zero DTEs. Okay, you're going to get penny for penny performance in. That's what I wanted to say. That's. I remember I said I forgot something. Well, that's what I forgot. Okay, you're going to get when you trade in the money zero DTEs, you're going to get a higher performance. But the problem is you will also increase your risk. If you notice, the zero DTE in the monies are going to cost you more, all right? Much more than the out of the money, all right? So, and when you give yourself more time, that will also cost you less money when you give yourself more time. Well, give yourself some time, but not too much time, okay? When you give yourself some time, that'll cost you more as well. When you got less time, left, okay, you get a higher performance because you're closer to money and you're also closer to time expiring. So less time, all right, and in the money will give you higher performance, okay? The further you go out of the money, okay, and out in time will give you less performance because there's too much room for wiggling around with the price action. All right, so I wanted to say I'm not opposed to trading in the money options, and I'm not opposed to trading zero DTEs. Okay, just saying they're very volatile when you got starting out your new $27,000 account. You don't want to blow up your account, and it's very easy, especially when you start looking at $3 and $4 candles. Okay, if you've got just 10 contracts, that's $4,000 your account can move either for you or against you, and it's really horrible when it moves against you. So for that reason, I like a little bit less risk, a little bit more time. All right, and for that reason, I choose the out of the money options, and I like a little more time. So I like Friday or next Friday. All right, so that's the reason I choose those. Okay. If you want penny for penny performance, go in the money, all right, and go with very little time left, and that will give you almost as close to penny for penny performance as you can get, all right, with the options. All right, that's it. I'll see everybody in 45 minutes. I finally figured out what I forgot and what I wanted to say. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day today. Let's kick this day off right.